It's quite interesting because the Arabian breed is considered to be a very expensive, a very elegant breed, and on the one hand it relates to the equestrian roots of Hermès. It's again underlining the strategy of the House of Hermès, the luxury approach. Kermit Oliver, he was the first American artist to collaborate with Hermès. And he has a realistic, symbolic style which merges tradition and modern topics. And Alice Shirley is one of my personal favorites. She has a mission with her foulards because she wants to draw attention to endangered species. She wants to celebrate them and show their beauty and also kind of immortalize them. Hi, my name is Liz. I'm a fashion and art historian and the founder of the fashion label Pelagona. And on this channel, I'm telling you the stories behind fashion trends. This is part 2 of my video about Hermès and its silk scarf, the carre. I've already mentioned in the previous video that there have been over 2,000 different designs for these silk scarves, and to bring them to life, Hermès has collaborated with over 150 artists. I do think that these artists deserve to be in the spotlight, so my idea for today was to introduce you to some of these artists, and I have split it up in 2 groups. I'm going to start with the artists from the launch of the carre, and then the second group is more recent artists. Let's start at the beginning with the premier artist Hugo Grygkar. Grygkar was born in 1907 in Germany into a Czech family who later emigrated to Paris. And he was behind the very first Hermès carré together with Robert Dumas. He created Jeux d'Omnibus et des Dames Blanches, which was based on a board game in Émile Maurice Hermès' private collection. I have explained this carré in my other video, so you can just head over and check it out. And he kept on creating many iconic designs for the house. His style is known for his details, but also for the depth that engages the viewer, and also for his humor and wit. There's one carré called Lettre à Napoléon, à Murat d'après Carondage, which is almost like a cartoon. It's very funny. And he's behind the iconic Prix de Gala, which again shows Hermès' equestrian roots. We see ceremonial bridles. They are again based on the private collection of Émile Maurice Hermès, which served as a major source of inspiration for Grygkar. And one of the bridles has a mermaid, and this bridle was actually owned by Maximilian I, the Emperor of Mexico, before it came into the Hermès collection. And this carré is appreciated for its intricate design, its details, and it has been reissued many, many times. Another very important work by Grygkar is from 1951. It's called Cavalier d'Arabe, and it shows an Arabian horse and its rider. This horse and the rider are then surrounded by 12 further drawings, and it's quite interesting because the Arabian breed is considered to be a very expensive, a very elegant breed, and on the one hand it relates to the equestrian roots of Hermès. It also shows that Grygkar loved these equestrian themes in his designs, but it's again underlining the strategy of the House of Hermès, the luxury approach. They show us this Arabian horse, which is a luxury horse, and it's on their silk scarf, which is also a luxury product. And I really like Les Oiseaux des Champs et des Bois, which is a colorful depiction of birds. Now let's move on to another important artist for Hermès. Philippe Ledoux was born in Sheffield in 1903, and he joined Hermès in 1937. Before that, he studied at the Academy for Painting and Design in Paris, and then also fought at Dunkirk during World War II and became a photographer for the French Navy. That's also why his style is very photorealistic, and he ended up designing 90 different carrés for Hermès. Among them are L'Océan, Napoleon, and Cosmos from the late 50s and early 60s. This Cosmos is probably a design that you have seen before. It's an astrolabe in the center against a night sky backdrop, and in the corners there is the sun god Apollo in his quadriga. Another artist I would like to introduce is Adolphe Jean-Marie Moron, who was also known as Cassandre, and maybe you have heard of the infamous Cassandre scarf, which was actually called Perspective. And the work of this Ukrainian-born artist was strongly influenced by Surrealism and Cubism. And what's interesting is that he is also the brain behind the famous Yves Saint Laurent logo, the old one, not the new one. And I think that's quite a nice story that he not only worked for Hermès, but also influenced Yves Saint Laurent. I would also like to mention Henri de Linares here because I really like his work Plume, feathers, and he was very much interested in hunting trophies and also still lifes. Now we are coming to one of my favorites, Kermit Oliver. He was the first American artist to collaborate with Hermès. And he has a realistic, symbolic style which merges tradition and modern topics. We very often see religion, mythology, history with a modern twist. His iconic work was Pani la Char Pawnee, which was a tribute to the Pawnee people, a Native American tribe who were exiled from the Nebraska, Kansas area to the Oklahoma area. We see the chief of the tribe with a peace pipe and a carved horse, and the horses are also in the border. These horses are referenced to another artist called Carl Bodmer. Oliver then also designed Faune et Flore du Texas for the 150th anniversary of the American state. It's a turkey in the middle, and this turkey is surrounded by many other animals and plants. And in the border alone, there are 50 other species represented. So we see his attention to detail, and it's a very colorful creation. And what is also interesting about him is that he was the first black artist to have a major solo exhibition in a big gallery in Houston in 1970. Now it's time for a female artist. Annie Faivre designed over 40 carrés for Hermès, and her style is often described as inspired by Art Deco. She uses bright colors, and what's interesting is that there's always a small little monkey hidden in her design. That's basically her signature. It refers to the nickname that she had as a child. She was called Little Monkey. One of my favorite designs is from the 1980s. It shows the artists of the circus. We also see some animals like tigers, and we also see the tools of the artists, the giant balls, the hoops. And it almost feels as being in a very, very colorful kaleidoscope, and I really enjoy the whole composition of this carré. And this leads me to another important woman for Hermès, Bali Barret, whose real name is Marie-Amélie Barret, presented a capsule collection to Jean-Louis Dumas in 2003. He liked it so much that it resulted in many more collaborations. When his son, Pierre-Alexis, took over after his retirement, Pierre-Alexis became creative director, and Bali Barret was then promoted to become the head of the Women's Silk program, which meant that she was responsible for thousands of designs for the carrés. And she's also known for the collaboration of Hermès and Liberty London in 2009. Liberty London is also famous for their prints, and they created kind of a hybrid scarf design. We have the Ex Libris, which is based on Hugo Grygkar's design, on a floral pattern as a backdrop, and it shows a successful kind of collaboration of Liberty London and Hermès. And I'd like to introduce two more female artists to you. One is Virginie Jamin. She created the Belle du Mexique in 2007. I really like this design because at first sight it looks like a dotted pattern. But when you look closely, you see it's the bird's eye view of Mexican dancers. They twirl, and this is what makes the dresses look like a dot from the bird's eye view. In the center, we have another female dancer who is surrounded by 4 male dancers, and they are wearing sombreros. And it's quite a nice, colorful design, and I would say it's almost a trompe-l'oeil effect that she created. And Alice Shirley is one of my personal favorites. Her style is very colorful, very graphic. She started working for Hermès in 2012, and she has a mission with her foulards because she wants to draw attention to endangered species. She wants to celebrate them and show their beauty and also kind of immortalize them. And there's one design which I would like to mention. It's the 3 Graces from 2022. I'm a big fan of giraffes. Maybe that's why I like it, because it's giraffes behind or inside an acacia tree. And I just really appreciate the whole design, the message, and the colors. And speaking of preservation, I would like to mention Ardmore Artists, which is a studio founded in 1985 by Faye Halsted. She worked with South African artists to preserve heritage. La Marche du Zambèze in 2016 was one of many collaborations. It features an elephant in the center surrounded by other animals and plants, and the borders have kind of a mosaic pattern. And we have reached the end of my video. I hope you enjoyed this artistic view of the Hermès scarf. Let me know, I'm curious, who is your favorite artist? Who have I not mentioned here? Who would you like to be mentioned in one of my next videos? And as always, I have also written a more detailed article on thepinklookbook.com, so just head over and check it out. And if you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you soon. Goodbye.